Yeah.
Because when we're in the moment when we're triggered, because the thing is, whether you're a parent, whether you're a teacher, whether you're a nanny, a child psychologist, whatever, it's unavoidable that when we're with children, particularly young children, because that's where a lot of our most deepest experiences are seated, it's kind of inevitable that there's going to be triggers when we're with children, because children have no filter for expressing raw emotion. I don't think I know anyone. I don't think I've met anyone that is not going to be triggered by that at some point in time, that raw emotion.
I think probably if you have had in your childhood, and in that, be curious to ask Letha's children themselves, or people who I have spoken to people who were held lovingly and deeply accepted in their raw emotion as a child. Then they just come to this space, or they've done the work, and they come to this space, there's no trigger then. But when there is a trigger, for me, it's just that the beauty of the way we design as human beings is that when there is a situation that is similar to something in the past that we haven't healed, it serves as a the subconscious comes, hey, it's an opportunity, take it.
Yay.
And that's how it feels. You go into fight and flight because it's scary, because what's about to come up, or what can potentially come up, is big. Is at a time it felt overwhelming, but really, if you look at it as a potential,
an opportunity for healing and rewriting it, which is huge, because the butterfly effects that can have in the way you experience life and your relationship with your children is like, so we can't even measure that, so it is huge. It's a huge opportunity.
Yes.
I'm going to speak into what one of my triggers used to be. That might be a good place to start. And I can still have this sometimes. I'm still working on this. But one of the things I used to be routinely shut down about in my childhood is when we were like high energy and excitable and loud and kind of in that more of our wild energy, that was a trigger for my dad, and he couldn't handle it, so he would need to squash that and make us quiet again, and it was often with anger and control and an authoritarian kind of energy. So for me, although I've always been drawn to working with children, that aspect of natural expression of that wildness that children have when they're healthy children was quite triggering for me. And my system would get a bit and I would feel this desire to want to, they're not being calm and collected, and I would feel this desire to want to encourage them to have quiet time or not be so loud, it took me probably a few years to realize that was seated in my experience of being shut down in my expression of that wild child element. And so for me, in that moment of feeling that trigger, I was just lucky that at the same time I was on the personal development journey of wanting to deepen my connection with myself and rewrite unhelpful patterns. And that helped me have the realization that was about me. It wasn't about the child. It was about me. And that being able to sit with that and hear that part of me that was scared of being wild, and let them know that I'm here now and it's okay. And going through that process allowed my capacity to allow space for the actual child that I'm with to be wild in their expression. I might still set boundaries around it, like if it's above a certain noise level, okay, this is an outside time, let's go, and we can be as loud as we like outside. So I brought boundaries in that supported both of us, as well. So there was two parts to it. There was addressing the part that was my own stuff within me and bringing boundaries in around it to make it, to meet their needs and meet my needs at the same time, if that makes sense.